Welcome back, guys, to the Andrew Delich podcast. Another episode, another solo episode. So let me start off with where there is life, there is hope. This is how I see it. From my experience with my friends and with people I encounter during my everyday life, with colleagues, whatever, I feel like, maybe this is just my point of view, but I feel like some people give up early on their dreams, on their goals, and on their ideal life and lifestyle. Like I said, maybe it's just my opinion, but I feel like I met so many guys that are around my age, 25, 26, in their 20s, close to being 30, or even in their 30, where in their mind, the opinion they have, the mentality they have is that once you reach, like, let's say 30, and if you didn't make it, if you aren't a millionaire, if you aren't living your dream life, well, then it's over, and you should just get a 9 to 5 and just, well, hey, that's life, and you deal with it, and fuck it, be a victim your entire life. I think that's a really fucking dumb mentality to have, in my opinion, and why I've always seen it the same. You only have one life, from what we know. And I'll be, God forbid, that I don't live that life the way I exactly want to live it, the job that I want to have, exactly the job, chase all the dreams that I want to chase, have the wife that I want to have, whatever else. That's how I see it. If I'm going to have one life, one shot at life, and who knows, hopefully, if you're lucky, knock on wood, you'll live a long and healthy life until the age of, let's say, 90, 95, which is really, really like a long and healthy life. I wish that upon everyone, but you never know when you can die. It can happen tomorrow. Knock on wood, it never happens. It can happen tomorrow. It can happen next year, and 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Or if you're lucky, live until you're fucking 90 or 95. But from what we know, you only have one life. And for you to give up at the age of, let's say, 25, 30, I feel like, from my experience, what I saw is like, for some people, 30 is like an age where it's like the most important age and is the most important factor and deciding like factor of where you're going to go with your life and what's going to happen in your life. Like, I see many people, maybe because I'm 25, 26, maybe because I hang around with people who are close to my age or around my age or my age. And so maybe that's why, like, I see it a lot. But I feel like people who are in their 20s, it's like once you hit 30, it's over. Like, if you're not a millionaire, it's over. If you're not living your dream, well, then you better close your dreams and go find a regular 9 to 5 and fucking accept it. And I never understood that. Like, I guess it is kind of logical, in your 20s, you're a young adult, you're new into the world. And then, of course, especially now with social media, you see fucking people on social media flexing their cars, Rolls Royce, private jet, many of beautiful girls around them, and whatever else, traveling the world, diamond chains, diamond wristwatches, whatever. So maybe that's why they feel like this need to get it quickly and as soon as possible. Maybe it's also because when you're still in your 20s, maybe you still have like this I have many friends mentality. And then when you have many friends, when you have like an entourage in your 20s, you want to impress them, right? You want to be like the top dog amongst your friends. You want to be the most successful. You want to be the richest guy. You want to be, in general, the most competent and the most successful. So maybe there's also that pressure of I have to prove it to my friends. I have to prove it to my university colleagues. I have to prove it to my 9 to 5 colleagues or whatever. Maybe there's also that pressure, but I feel like there's this big thing that if you're in your 20s, everyone has this goal of what they want to achieve and who they want to be before they reach the age of 30. And then the way they're acting is like, if I don't reach it by the age of 30, well, it's fucking done. It's over. Life is finished. That's really fucking dumb. And if you look at statistics and facts, the average age of a millionaire is like 56. 56, forget about 30. Of course, we think there's many 25-year-old millionaires or 30-year-old millionaires or 35-year-old millionaires because we fucking scroll on social media every single day. We're all fucking addicted to our phones, and especially to Instagram and TikTok and whatever else, YouTube. And then, of course, first of all, Instagram, social media, it's not all true. There's many, many fakeness in that app from people who portray to have a certain lifestyle that they don't. Or even if they're not portraying it, you're going to see maybe in a span of, let's say, 1 hour of you scrolling, you can maybe find 5 guys who are 27 and who are actually multimillionaires. It does exist, people who are 27 and being multimillionaires, they do exist. But it's such a small minority. It's fucked up. Like, if I might even add, for everyone watching this clip or this episode or whatever, ask yourself this question. how many 27-year-olds do you know personally who are millionaires? My answer for me is none. I don't know a single 27 or 28 or 30-year-old personally, like that I can talk with him, shoot him a DM, whatever, who is a multimillionaire. Of course, there's fucking, let's say all these professional soccer players that I know, Mbappe, right? He's fucking 27, 28. He's a multi-fucking millionaire. But like I said, that's one out of like fucking a million and a million and a million. So that's why I never really, like, I understand the logic of like wanting to reach all your goals by the age of 30. And it's not necessarily bad. It's good to have high ambitions, to want to accomplish a lot in your life, and to want to do it as quickly as possible. Just like Elon Musk said many times, if you want speed, if you want to get as close as possible to your dreams, take your 10-year plan and try to accomplish it inside of 6 months. You probably will fail, but you'll get way closer to your end goal than if you didn't adopt that kind of mentality. And I agree. But at the same time, if you start at the age of 25 and by the age of 30, you're not a millionaire, just keep fucking going. Life doesn't stop once you hit 30. Life doesn't stop once you fucking blow the candles on your 30th birthday cake. Life doesn't stop. It's a normal day, just like any other birthday. When you turn 27, it's the same when you turn 28, and it's the same when you turn 30. It's the fucking same. So keep going. Even if you start at 27, and then you fucking go bankrupt at the age of 29, and you have to restart over at the age of 30. Well, if you're lucky, like in Canada, the average age that people live to is 80. So you have until 30 to 80. You still have 50 years to accomplish all of your goals and to become the person that you want to become. So that's just one thing that I want to address, because me being a 26-year-old, most of my friends, mainly my friends, are mainly in the same age range of me. And by me hanging around with them, talking with them, I notice this a lot, where there's this mentality of, if I don't make it by the age of 30, well, it's fucking done. It's over. I'm going to give up on all my dreams. I'm going to settle down for whatever comes my way. And I'm just going to be a normal NPC for the rest of my life, and I'm going to stop chasing my dreams. And I've always found that mentality kind of fucking like dumb, funny, I guess, because it's like they have the mentality of once you reach the age of 30, well, you have to give up. While at the age of 30, especially now in 2026, you're still very fucking young. And if you look at most people who made millions and millions of dollars, I'm not talking about Justin Bieber, that's 1 in a billion. I'm not talking about fucking Kylian Mbappe or Lamine Yamal. They're again 1 in a fucking billion. Go see millionaires who aren't famous, but they are millionaires. Their bank accounts, their net worths, they're fucking millionaires. They make millions and millions of dollars per year. Go look at their timeline. Go look at their life story, how they made it to their millions. And like I said, it's a fact that the average age of a millionaire is like in his 50s or late 40s. And that's a pure fact. So that is the case. So that's why I just wanted to address it, because it's something that I hear a lot of in my friend group and in my surroundings. And like Alex Hormozi once said, and I'm quoting him, he said, "The world doesn't hate you when you're young. You're just not good at anything yet." And there's nothing wrong there. Most people aren't good at anything, and they'll never be good at anything because they'll never put in the effort to become highly specialized or highly skilled at a certain skill set. They'll never do it because it takes a lot of fucking time and a lot of effort to be really, really good and competent at a single thing. It takes a lot of effort. Most people throughout life never take the time, never have the discipline or the work ethic or the hunger to become highly specialized and highly skilled in one skill. They don't take the time. Why? Because like I said, it takes a lot of time. It's really fucking hard. You have to keep going, even though when you face failures and rejection and things aren't working out, nothing's looking in your favor, you still have to keep going, because if you keep going through the mud, through the shit, you end up on the other side, which is beautiful, and then you've become an expert at what you like. So like you said, the world doesn't hate you. I know many people, many of my friends who play the victim card. Now, not only my friends, colleagues, people I met at university, many of them played a victim card of, I'm not where I want to be in life financially because the world hates me, because I'm this, because I'm that, because my last name doesn't sound Canadian, because I'm not a Christian, because whatever, they find excuses. Whilst the truth is, if you just took the time to become highly, highly skilled and highly, highly specialized at a single thing, and then you can monetize from that single thing, which you became highly skilled at and highly specialized and a fucking top G in that skill. Well, then after a certain period of time, when the world dictates and they decide that, yes, you are highly specialized and skilled at this one thing, then the world, then life will give you the gift of money, success, and everything else, status that comes with everything that you had to do through your work ethic, through your discipline, and through facing your fears and everything else. So like Hormozi said, the world doesn't hate you. You're just not good at anything yet. And that's normal. When you're young, this is the average 8-year-old until the age of 25, from what I know and from what I saw. So at 8, you go to school, you hang around with your friends, you just have fun, all the way to, and then when you're a teenager, from let's say 13 to 19, it's you go to school, you fuck around with your friends, you chase girls, you play sports, you have fun. You don't really you have some sort of a work ethic if you are a bit more disciplined than other people, but especially at that age, it's really hard. Like, I've never met a guy who was 15 or 16, or when I was 15 or 16, no one in my age group was like, okay, I gotta hit the gym 6 times a week. I gotta eat this. I gotta get my proteins in. I gotta do 10,000 steps. I gotta chase my dreams. Let's try crypto trading. Let's try doing a podcast. Let's try whatever. I personally didn't know a single person. I knew some of my friends who were, let's say, hockey players, and they wanted to be professional hockey players, and then it didn't end up happening because they weren't good enough. Or let's say me, I wanted to be a professional soccer player when I was young. That was my first dream. Didn't happen. Wasn't good enough. But other than that, you don't meet many young people, young teenagers from the age of 13 to 19 who are highly disciplined and highly ambitious towards something. Maybe they are highly ambitious. They're going to have big dreams when they're going to sit around with their friends playing Xbox, playing Call of Duty, and then on their party chat, they're going to talk about, yo, one day I want to be fucking Dan Bilzerian. I want to be Jake Paul, Logan Paul. I want to be whoever. They're going to talk high ambitions, but their actions aren't going to follow their talk. It's a fact, especially at that age. So that's the majority of people, what they do. And then from 19 to 25, you go to university or you go to on the job market, and then you realize, like I did and like my friends did, is that if you want to be successful and if you want to make millions of dollars per year, it takes a lot of fucking work. Like, it's not that easy. It's simple. Work your fucking ass off, never give up, and you're going to make it one day. But it's really fucking hard. Everything that's good in life is really hard. It's really simple. Getting in shape, like I said so many times, I went from being really skinny and having no muscle definition, having no muscle mass, whatever, to getting in shape. And the way I did it was really fucking simple. I started going to the gym. I never stopped going to the gym. I found a balance where I can go to the gym regularly. I have a good diet plan. I don't have a fucking Cristiano Ronaldo diet plan, but I have a good balanced diet plan where I get my proteins in, whatever. And then I do it. I keep doing it. I don't give up. I keep doing it. And I still do it right now. Like I said, the goal isn't to just get in shape. The goal is to get in shape and then remain in shape, stay in shape. That's the goal. But I feel like it goes for everything else in life. It's really simple, the path, but it's really fucking hard. Let's say you're 12 years old, right? And you want to be a professional soccer player, just like I did. It's really fucking simple. What you have to do is you play soccer. You work really hard at becoming the best soccer player you possibly can. And then if you're good enough, whilst doing tryouts, whilst going to academy tryouts, an academy team will take you in. You'll be a player for their academy. And then if you keep grinding, if you keep playing well, if you keep performing at U13, U15, U17, U18, then the first team of that academy, the professional team, will offer you a contract. And then you are a professional. It's a really simple path, but it's a really fucking hard path. Why? Because there's big competition. You're competing against all the other academy players who all have the same dream as you. Some are maybe more talented, some are less talented, but at the end of the day, the most important is on the pitch, who performs the best. We don't give a fuck who has more talent or who has less talent, who works harder or who doesn't work harder. At the end of the day, how you play on the pitch, how you perform on the pitch will dictate who will become a professional player. It's really simple, but it's really fucking hard. So like I said, that's like the average teenager from what I saw in my entourage. And then the early 20s, you get into the job market, and then you realize like how fucking hard it is to make, let's say, 100,000, then 200,000, then 300,000, then eventually become a millionaire, like most kids my age want to become, and like I want to become, and there's nothing wrong there. But it's really fucking hard. And the only way you can become is when you keep going, you keep working to become highly specialized and highly skilled at a singular trait or at a specific thing, and then you monetize from that specific thing, and then you make millions of dollars. So like Hormozi said, when you're young, the world doesn't hate you. You may feel like the world hates you because people that you would want you to show you respect, they don't necessarily show you the respect that you want them to show you, but you got to put yourself in their position. Like imagine you're a 40-year-old millionaire and then there's this 20-year-old kid who never really accomplished anything, who doesn't have really a good work ethic, and is just a normal kid. And he wants you to treat him the same way you would treat someone who's in your range of being also a 40-year-old who is a multimillionaire. So of course, like, it may feel like the world doesn't give a fuck about you. You drop a couple of CVs here and there. No one calls you back. No one gives a fuck about your CV. No one hires you. You may feel like the world hates you. You try to reach these big investors to get money out of them to start your own business. They reject you. They don't even answer your call. They don't even give a fuck about you. It's normal. I mean, if you look at it unbiasedly, who are you? Like, and I'm speaking for myself, for myself also, and for everyone else. Who are you, right? So you got to put yourself in their position and understand where they are coming from. If you become highly skilled and highly good at a single thing, those people will answer your calls immediately. They'll be running towards you to be in collaboration with you, but you have to become highly skilled at it. Let's say Lamine Yamal, right? He's 19 years old, right? Let's say there's another 19-year-old in fucking Cambodia, right? He plays as good as Lamine Yamal. Do you know what all teams around Europe will do? They will all run towards him to get to sign him. He won't have to do shit. He'll just have to wake up. He'll wake up in the morning. He'll have Barcelona at his door, Real Madrid at his door, Chelsea, Man United, Man City. They'll all be at his door wanting to sign him because he became highly good and highly skilled at a certain thing, at a single thing, which is playing football, playing soccer. That is the most important. And even though he's 19 years old, the world does give a fuck about him because he became highly competent at his art, which is playing football. That's why now, in my opinion, one thing that I really changed in my life is I try to live the most action by action. One thing that I realized, at least from me and from other people, from watching them and analyzing these big successful names like Alex Hormozi and many other people, is that they all say, and not only do they say it, but I see them and I see how they operate, is they focus on a single thing and they become really, really competent and really, really good at that single thing. Like Hormozi said many times, he said, did you ever ask yourself this question? Do you know a guy who became rich at drop shipping while doing trading, while doing crypto? No one knows that guy, because the vast majority of multi-millionaires and very successful people, from what I heard from these people, is they became really, really good at one thing and they focused intensely on getting good at one thing. And that is what he said. From what I experienced in my own life is whenever I go through my day and I think about a million things, I try to do 2-3 things at the same time, the work is never done as good as, let's say, if I focus at a single thing. And then once that task is done, well, then I jump to the next task and then I simply focus on that one task until it's done and properly done. And then I jump to the next task. From my experience, when I started doing that type of mentality, when I started adopting that lifestyle, I feel like everything became easier and those tasks were done way better than, let's say, tasks that I used to do before whilst juggling 2-3 tasks at the same time. I'll give you an example, right? When I'm at the gym, I'm only focusing on getting the best workout in. When I'm at work selling cars for 8 hours, it's all about how can I sell as many cars as possible. When I get home from work and I get to work on my podcast, it's how do I get the most work done for my podcast? Through clips, through inviting new guests on my podcast, through preparing new episodes, whatever it may be. When I'm doing a single thing, I'm focusing simply on that thing. Even as simple as when I'm eating, I'm simply focusing on eating. When I'm having fucking sex, I'm simply focusing on having sex. So I feel like we as human beings, we're way better and we're naturally wired to be better at focusing on one thing until that task is completed. And then we put that task to the side. We put it behind us because it's completed. And then we jump on the next task. And by doing that, I feel like slowly, you walk towards your dream step by step. Now, let's talk about dieting and working out. So, again, whilst talking with my friends, colleagues, whatever, many people want to get in shape because the vast majority of people aren't in the shape that they wish they were, right? And then there's always a question of cheat meals, cheat days, nutrition. What should I eat? What shouldn't I eat? From what I what I experienced, what I saw, and what I learned from other people who are really, really fucking disciplined and who are really, really successful in the fitness industry is keep it as simple as possible. It's simple, right? You want to eat good. We all know what good foods are. Eat eggs, chicken, beef, protein. Get your protein in. And we all know what protein is. Some people, because they don't want to accept the fact that it's really simple, because it's really hard. It's hard to eat plain chicken with plain rice and plain broccoli. It's really hard, but it's simple. It's really good for you, but it doesn't taste good in your fucking mouth. It's fucking plain. There's no salt. There's no sauce. It's fucking disgusting in your mouth, right? But we all know what it tastes, what we need to eat in order to become in shape. So people nowadays, I'm going to put chia seeds and then I'm going to do a fucking milkshake. I'm going to put this, that protein powder, this protein powder. I'm not saying anything badly against protein powder. It's actually a really good supplement to get your proteins in. But your main focus shouldn't be on protein powder, protein bars, protein chips, whatever. Simply eat whole foods, eggs, chicken, beef, tuna, salmon, oatmeal, whatever it may be, peanuts, peanut butter, vegetables, rice, sweet potato, potatoes, whatever it may be, it's simple. It's whole foods. Eat whole foods that your body was wired to eat, and since we're fucking human beings, since we fucking exist, we're wired to eat that type of food. So eat that, and then it's simple. Go to the gym. You don't have to have a crazy workout routine. You don't have to have a highly detailed, scientifical workout plan. You just have to move your body around. Do jumping jacks, do push-ups, do pull-ups, do bench press, do curls, do whatever. Just go to the gym, move your body around. Now, of course, having some sort of, let's say, structured plan is good. One day I'm going to do upper body. The next day I'm going to do lower body, legs. One day I'm going to do pull. Then the next day I'm going to do push. One day I'm going to do chest and shoulders. The next day I'm going to do biceps and back. Like, it's good to have that, but don't be so, don't waste all your time. So many people, from what I saw, my friends and colleagues, they put more time and effort in preparing their perfect plan, workout plan and regimen plan on their phone. Then they take the time to actually do the workout and to actually follow and respect their diet plan. What's the point of taking all the time of writing it on your phone and then buying a nice fucking calendar, writing everything down, making it all beautiful and visual, but then when it's time to do the walk, they don't do the walk. They like to do the talk, but they don't do the walk. But the walk is the most important. And same goes for working out. There are many people, they want to get in shape, and it's always, from what I saw, it's always, I'll start Monday. I'll start Monday. That's always like the number one thing that even I said it many times. Many people did it many times. It's something that many people do because it's like a little dopamine hit, and it's like a way to give yourself an excuse of not starting now because it's hard and you don't feel like doing it. So you give yourself an excuse to push it off to Monday, and then you rationalize it by saying, well, it's going to start off the week well, and let me start off on the right foot. What the actual fuck? It's as simple as do it now. Do you have 20 or 30 minutes to spare? Do some push-ups, go for a walk, do some jumping jacks, do some air squats, whatever. It's simple working out, but it's simple, but it's really hard to be consistent and to never give up and to keep going. Matt Damon, right, for the movie Odyssey, he got in phenomenal shape, especially for his age, man. He was like 50 something. He got in phenomenal shape. And he said the only thing he would do at the gym it was mostly pull-ups. He would do push-ups, single leg squats, pistol squats, in other words. What else? He would do plank for your core. And that's pretty much it. But then he said that 80% of his body came from what he ate in the kitchen. And that's true. You know how they say 20 to 30% is your workout, 70 to 80% is what you eat. You can have the best workout. You can work out twice a day. But if your diet is shit, your body will look like shit. And that's a fact. I don't want to be mean, but that's a fact. So diet is always by far the most important. It's also the hardest. Like, let's not lie. It's really, really hard to be consistent. But in my opinion, the best way to stay consistent is to have a balanced diet, a balanced lifestyle when it comes to working out, and a balanced diet when it comes to what you eat and your nutrition. I think that's the best. Because if you're going to go all out and eat like a fucking bodybuilder who's getting ready to get on stage with fucking 5% body fat, believe me, broski, after 1 week, I'm being generous, after 3 days, you're going to give up. Why? Because I tried it and it's not fucking sustainable. It's not sustainable. The only way I could maybe do it or someone else could maybe do it is, of course, if someone comes and see me, Christopher Nolan comes and sees me and says, Andre, you know what? I want to give you a $30 million role, but you have to get in phenomenal shape for the next 6 months. Well, believe me, for the next 6 months, I'm fucking eating and training like a fucking, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like pro athlete, couldn't get better because I know at the end, there's an end goal. I'm getting fucking $30 million. I'm getting my career better, whatever. I know there's a reason. But for you to simply have a normal lifestyle and to have a job which has nothing to do with physical abilities, and then to have a wife, to have kids, and then to have friends, want to go get a drink with your friends, have fun on the weekends, having a balanced diet and a balanced workout routine is the best. And it's the best for not only short term, but also for the long run and for the long term. Because like I said, getting in shape is one part. Staying in shape is the ultimate part. Because once you get in shape, that's good, but you have to remain in shape. And the goal is to stay in shape for the rest of your life. That's the goal, right? So that's how it's done, in my opinion. And I know many of my friends who, when they ask me for advice on how to, let's say, lose body fat, gain muscle mass, and stay consistent, I always tell them the same thing. Have a balanced lifestyle when it comes to your nutrition and to your workout regimen and workout plan. I had one of my friends, this is a true story actually. He told me, you know what, Andre? I want to get in phenomenal shape. He wasn't fat, he was chubby, but he wanted to have like the abs, the six pack, the chiseled chest and arms and everything. He wanted to have all of it. And he told me, you know what, Andre? Starting Monday, I swear to God, it's a real story. And if I clip it or if he sees it, he's going to fucking know who I'm talking about. He said, Andre, you know what? I'm going to start Monday. And starting Monday, I'm going to have a keto diet, meaning 0 carbs. For all my people out there, whoever thought about having a diet with 0 carbs and who never actually did it, don't even try it because you'll never be able to complete it. Do you know how fucking hard it is to have a diet with 0 carbs? A protein-only diet. Do you know how fucking hard it is? It sounds easy. In your mind, you're like, wait, what's so hard about it? I only eat protein, and to carbs, I say no. Yeah, you can maybe say no to your carbs. Maybe in story, it sounds easy. On paper, it sounds simple and easy. But it's really fucking hard. It's really fucking hard to have a keto diet. I tried it. I think the most I did was like 2 or 3 days. And I consider myself someone who's really disciplined when it comes to what I eat and working out. I can be really disciplined, although there are some people who are way more disciplined than me. But I also consider myself as one of like the top tiers of discipline for what I eat. And even I couldn't fucking do it. And I know many of my friends who are even in better shape than me, they couldn't do it because it's not sustainable. So you're telling me for the next couple of weeks and months, there's no bread, there's no vegetables, there's no fries, no pasta, no rice, no sweet potato, no potatoes. Broski, you're not going to do it. I hate to break it to you. I don't want to break your bubble. You're not going to do it. Now, of course, some people do accomplish it and some people do live that lifestyle. They do exist, but it's such a small minority that the vast majority of those people won't accomplish it. Like I said, I know many people when I go to the gym who are in phenomenal shape. They look like fucking Brad Pitt in Fight Club shape. They're in crazy shape, right? And I asked them, and even those guys have somewhat of a balanced diet. Maybe not as, let's say, they don't maybe cheat as much as I do. Let's say I'll eat like ice cream 3 times a week. They'll maybe eat it once or once every 2 weeks. So they'll tweak their diet better than, let's say, me or someone else. They do exist, but it's also a limit of what can you do, what are you willing to do, and what actually, like, is it actually worth it? What's actually worth it in your life, right? So if you have a lifestyle of you working 9 to 5 and then you have a wife, you have kids, and then you have to do chores around the house, do this, do that. And then on top of that, you want to implement a professional athlete lifestyle through working out and nutrition. It can maybe be done, but it's going to be really fucking hard, man. It's going to be really fucking hard because you have so many other things going on in your life that you cannot put all of your focus and all of your energy on everything. At your business, at your work, with your kids, with your wife, with your friends, working out like a fucking professional athlete and then eating like a professional athlete. It's different, right? Professional athletes, their entire life, let's say like football players, soccer players, right? Their entire life is waking up, practicing, eating as healthy as they can, running, playing soccer, going to the gym, eating as healthy as they can, going to sleep. They don't have a 9 to 5. Most of them have girlfriends, but they're not really fucking serious. They change their girlfriends faster than they fucking change their jerseys on match day. And they're young, right? So it's different. So it's different priorities. But if you're a normal guy with a normal 40-hour week schedule with friends and you like to have fun with your friends, you like to go out, drink alcohol, drink beer, relax, well, then it's not gonna happen. And a little like spoiler to many people, alcohol, especially beer, has a lot of fucking carbs. And when it comes to sugar, alcohol like vodka, tequila, it also has a lot of sugar and it's not good for you. It's not good for if you want to be in peak athletic shape like Cristiano Ronaldo. You cannot drink beer every weekend because there's way too many carbs and way too many calories, and it's not good for you if you want to be in peak athletic shape. So like I said, for the average person, for the normal person who has a normal life, 40 hours a week, a wife, a girlfriend, kids, friends, likes to hang out on the weekends with his friends, have fun, go to the movies, go to bars with his friends, watch the game with his friends on Sundays. For you guys, the best mentality to have is to have a balanced lifestyle when it comes to working out and to what you're eating. And from what I saw, I think life is all about finding out what works best for you. Like I said, by talking with my friends, talking with my guests, everyone has their own like schedule, I guess. Everyone has their own way of balancing out their life. Everyone has their own way. And I feel like it's only a question of finding out what works best for you. Some people, they just want to work. They're fucking workaholics. There's a guy at my work. He's a general sales manager. Bro, he does 8 to 9, 9 to 8 every single day. He gets in at 9 o'clock in the morning. He punches out at 8 p.m. And the reason why he punches out at 8 p.m. and not later is because we close the doors and we close the lights at the dealership at 8 p.m. But if he could stay later, he would stay later. And even before, he used to work at a dealership where they were open 7 days out of 7. And he would work every single day 9 to 8. I guess he loves it. I asked him the question. He didn't even answer me because he was too focused on his fucking job. But I guess he likes it, or maybe he even doesn't. Maybe he feels like he has this stress to pay all his bills or to perform well at work. Or maybe he's really fucking passionate about the car business and he really wants to be good at his job. Or maybe he fucking loves his job. I don't know. But for him, the best lifestyle is working 9 to 8, getting home, I guess eating supper, working. And then even when he gets home, he works on his things at home, let's say like fixing the shed or fixing the desk or the deck or fixing whatever. I guess he's just a workaholic. Some people are simply workaholic. They love doing physical work. They like doing something and they have to do something. That's what he does. And he doesn't make millions of dollars per year. He probably has like a salary of, let's say if he's general sales manager, he has to make like around 120 or 180 a year, depending on bonuses and performances. But I guess he just simply loves that lifestyle. Even though I told him many times, I'm like, brother, like I'm just gonna give you this advice. I mean, you're way older than me. You don't have to take my advice. You can say, who the fuck is this 26-year-old? He doesn't know what he's talking about. But I was like, broski, if you had your own company, if you were an entrepreneur working those hours and putting all that effort, don't you think you would get more out of life and more money than you busting your balls for a dealership that isn't even yours? Like, he works harder than the owners. And it's not even his place. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, I would never work that hard for a company that isn't even mine. Let's say my podcast, I wouldn't mind putting all the work and all the effort because this is mine, right? It's mine. Of course, I'm going to fucking put in more effort than, let's say, Luca, my brother, or Matt Perry, or anyone else, because this is my fucking podcast. Of course, I'm going to put way more effort than, let's say, someone else. That's how I see it. But maybe for him, maybe he doesn't even calculate it that way. Maybe in his mind, it's simply, I love working. I love the car business. I love my job. I just want to work. Or maybe it's even, I'm so fucking stressed out. I have so many bills to pay. If I don't work, I get these negative thoughts and I don't feel well. So I just fucking work. I don't know what it is, but everyone finds something that works best for you. And I feel like that's the most important. Because if you look at someone else's life, right? What's the point? You guys are two different people. You guys have different brain wiring, different mentalities, different pleasures, different everything else. So why would you look at someone else's life and then want to copy it because you feel like that is the right way to live? There's no right way to live. There's only what works for you, in my opinion. Like I said, that general sales manager that I know that I work with, I would never do his job, not in a million years. You couldn't pay me enough to do his job and to do the hours that he's doing for a company that isn't even mine. Never. You could put a fucking gun to my head, I wouldn't fucking do it. I would rather be a fucking slave who works 40 hours a week, and then when he isn't working, he's doing whatever else, than putting, let's say, 80 hours a week, spending all my days trying to better a company that isn't even mine. So that's why when I look at his lifestyle, I'm like, I would never do it. But maybe someone else looks at his lifestyle and is like, yo, I'm also a workaholic. So for me, that makes a lot of fucking sense. There's also that. So in life, it's all about finding out what works best for you. And there's no right way to live life. There's no right lifestyle. There's no right anything. It's simply finding out what works best for you. Okay, so the real reason, in my opinion, from what I know of myself, from my experiences, I feel like the real reason that we aren't going all out on our dreams is because we're afraid. If we weren't afraid to accomplish our dreams, we would always go all out. Why? Because we know we're not afraid and we know that one day it will work out. But the reason why we're not going all out on our dreams is because there's always that fear and that that thing that holds you back of, what if it never happens? What if I don't succeed? What if I fail? What if I have to start over? What if people make fun of me? What if people laugh at me? What if people hate on me? Whatever. It's because the real reason, deep down, the real reason we aren't going all out on our dreams, every single one of us, including me or whoever, is because deep down, we're afraid of the outcome of what might happen. And we're afraid of the future because the future is unknown, especially if you're chasing a dream that who knows what's going to happen and when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. But like I said, we only have one life. And if you're going to live that life to the fullest, and if you want to exploit life to the mostest, find the thing you're passionate about, find what you love to do, and fucking go all out. Because at the end of the day, we are going to die one day. And if you have the choice between living the best life that you can and simply getting by because you have no choice and you just let life dictate how life is going to be for you, what's the point? So I'm also working on this to be able to go and to have more courage to be able to go even more all out on all of my dreams. In order to have everything you want, you need to learn and appreciate taking calculated risks. To go somewhere you've never been, you have to take a road you've never took before. And that's a fact. To have something you've never had, you have to do something you never did. And you have to take calculated risks. Especially the bigger your dream is, the bigger risks you have to take and the more calculated risks that you have to take. It is what it is. Will it work out? I don't know. If I borrow $10,000 on the line of credit and I put it all on, let's say, something that I'm chasing, what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't work out? What if I lose all that money and then I can't pay it back? It's a risk. Now it's up to you to decide, am I ready and willing to take that calculated risk to accomplish what I think that I can accomplish and what I want to accomplish, which is the most important, what you want to accomplish. It's up to you. Life is all about calculating your risks and then making a decision. Should I take this risk, that risk? At the end of the day, life is all about risks. If you don't take the calculated risk of working towards your goal, working towards your dream to accomplish everything you want to accomplish, well, then you're taking the risk of ending depressed, having a bad life, not being happy, and not being fulfilled with life. You're also then going to have that risk, which may happen in your life if you don't have the balls and the courage to go all out after your dreams and after everything you want. So on both sides, make a decision. And on both sides, you have to choose something, but you might as well choose the first choice, which is go all out on your dreams, because you may fucking accomplish it and the best may happen and you keep working, you never give up. Something good is going to happen out of it. But if you take the other option, which is you cut your dreams off, you stop believing in your dreams, you stop chasing your dreams, you settle for mediocrity, you settle for a 9-to-5, which you fucking hate going to, you hate going to your job, you settle for a lifestyle that you don't like because you feel like it's a riskless life. Maybe monetarily it's riskless, but then you're going to suffer so much more when it comes to how you feel inside. Do you feel fulfilled? Are you happy? Are you joyful in your life? Do you have peace of mind? Are you content with what you've accomplished and who you are? There's also that big risk. There's this one quote from Johnny Cash that I really love. And he said, anyone who really wants the truth ends up at Jesus. Now, of course, me being Christian, that's why I like it. But if I'm going to be honest for everyone, how I see Jesus or God or whatever, it's a higher power. And the reason why I feel like anyone who really wants the truth ends up at Jesus or at Allah, Buddha, whoever, I feel like it's because as human beings, we're all curious regarding things that we're passionate about. We're always going to have questions to which there will never be answers to. And sometimes it's just better to say, fuck it. We'll never know. I'll leave it up to God. And what happens, happens. If I keep chasing this dream, how long will it take before I break through? Who can answer that question for you? No one. You can ask the Pope. You can ask Donald Trump. You can ask Elon Musk. You can ask your grandma. You can go and fucking see a gypsy who reads palms. No one can answer that question for you. So you might as well just say, fuck it. I have this dream. When is it going to happen? Who knows? Is it even going to happen? Who knows? I put all my trust in God. I'll do everything that I can on my side by working hard, facing my dreams, getting better, getting more competent, and never giving up. And then the rest, which I cannot control, I leave up to God. Everything that is in my control, I will control and make the most out of it. And everything that I can control and cannot dictate, I'll leave it up to a higher power. Some call it Jesus, some call it Buddha, Allah, God, the universe, karma, whatever you call it. How I see it is just another word for saying a higher power, which is a way of having peace of mind and of putting your worries to the side for things that you cannot control. Then there's also Novak Djokovic, who is probably the greatest tennis player of all time, who is Serbian, just like myself. And he said, this is the most important title of my life because before being an athlete, I am an Orthodox Christian. I agree, I'm also a Christian, but like I said, for me, it's simply about believing in a higher power to be able to put my worries to the side and just live a life with as less possible stress regarding things that I cannot control and regarding outcomes that I cannot envision or I cannot control. I cannot control what's going to happen. I cannot control what the results will be from my work ethic, and from whatever else. I cannot control it. So I just control and think. I just worry for things that I can't control. And I don't take the time or the worry to worry about things that I cannot control. And that's why this is also another thing that I love is Michael Jackson gave millions to charity and said Jesus Christ was the example he tried to follow. The reason why I love this fact so much is because it's Michael Jackson. Like the quote goes, the most famous person since Jesus Christ is Michael Jackson. And that's fucking crazy. So imagine you're Michael Jackson. You're on top of the world. Girls see you and they literally faint. The entire world knows who you are. You're making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. You've accomplished all of your goals and all of your dreams. But still, you have the humbleness to say, I may be Michael Jackson. Maybe I've accomplished all of this. Maybe everyone knows who I am. Maybe I am one of the most accomplished individuals of all time. Maybe I am actually the most gifted musical artist of all time. But still, I follow Jesus Christ, a higher power, because as much as I can be successful, powerful, famous, and rich, I remain a human being. I remain imperfect, and I remain a human being. So that's why I need a higher power to feel better. By saying all of this, I feel like, especially by seeing it on social media and from everything else, I feel like the world is becoming more and more hungry for normalcy than ever before. Because I feel like, let's say in the beginning of the 2000s, 2010s, we pushed a lot of this fakeness on social media. On social media, there's a lot of fakeness. A lot of girls not appearing the way they're actually appearing, putting filters or injecting lip fillers or BBLs, whatever, or guys portraying to have a lifestyle that they don't actually have. So I feel like there's a lot of fakeness on social media because as human beings, we have an ego and we want to appear amongst others, amongst our peers, as we're better than them and we've accomplished more, we're richer, we're better looking, we're this, we're that. So we have this ego, right? But I think we pushed that agenda too much, all of us, that the normal human aspect of us, we want to get back to normalcy. We're all unconsciously seeking normalcy because at the end of the day, when you wake up, you can do all the videos you can, all the clips, all the pictures of you portraying a fake lifestyle. When you wake up and when you put your phone down, when you shut down your camera, deep down, you know what's true and you know who you actually are. You can lie all you want. You can say whatever you want. You can portray whoever you want to portray on social media or amongst other people. At night, when you lay down in bed, when it's only you and your thoughts, you know what's true and you know what's fake. When you wake up in the morning after doing your cardio and then posting on social media and then putting a fake quote with a fake lifestyle, after you put your phone down and you shut it off, you know who you actually are and who you actually aren't. Same goes for, let's say, women. I know amongst women, it's a lot of like photoshopping and appearing more beautiful than what you actually are through filters, editing, whatever. But at the end of the day, you can take a picture of yourself. You can edit it all you want, put all the filters you want, put all the AI you want, which is something that's actually fucking crazy. I see many people now putting pictures, like their pictures, but it's clearly AI redefined. Like, broski, like no one's fucking blind. You know what I mean? Like no one's blind. We can all clearly see that that's not you and it's an AI picture. And like they still posted, people, their friends are going to compliment on that picture and then they're going to say, oh, thank you. Oh my God, I appreciate it. But deep down, you know that's not fucking you. So what's the fucking point? Yes, okay, that image maybe is like a better image of you because it's edited and whatever. But at the end of the day, like I said, when you put your phone down, when you shut off Instagram or whatever, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at yourself, you know that's not you, right? So that's why I feel like for the past couple of years, especially with social media, we've abused this agenda of wanting to have or at least portray a perfect lifestyle on social media for others to see, that pushing it so much, and we remain human beings. We always seek for normalcy and what is actually true and what is actually normal, because at the end of the day, that's what we resonate the most with, from my experience, right? Let's say The Sopranos, right? Is the greatest, statistically speaking, is the greatest TV drama show of all time. And one of the reasons why it's so fucking good, of course, storytelling and everything else, but one of the main reasons why it's so good is because the guy, when he created it, what's his fucking name? The guy who created it. I forgot his name, but the guy, when he created that TV show, he said that he wanted it to be as real as possible as how mafia members truly were in New Jersey and New York, Italian-American mafia members. So when you watch that TV show, it's not perfect. The mafia members, it's not like in those movies where they come in with big suits and then they walk around, they make no mistakes, they live this lavish lifestyle, everyone's sophisticated, everyone's educated, everyone has like a fucking PhD. They're fucking criminals, broski. They don't have education, they don't have sophistication. They're the worst of the worst. There's no honor amongst thieves. That's a fact. And that's why when he made The Sopranos, you can see how they actually are. This guy sleeps with his guy's best friend's wife. This guy cheats on his wife with his friend's wife. Like, you see how they actually are. And then let's say there's many times where there's like a confrontation between mafia members, and then the guy goes out to pull out his gun. The gun falls from his hands. He has to pick it up. The other guy, he sees that a gun has fallen to the ground. He jumps on him. Then they're fighting for his gun. It's not perfect because that's how life actually was amongst these Italian-American mafia members, because they remain human beings, and that was the actual truth of what it's like. So I feel like that's one of the main reasons why people gravitated and why people loved The Sopranos so much. Or let's say another TV show, Seinfeld, right? Seinfeld, his TV show is a show about nothing. And if you look at the people, it's all normal people, except maybe for Kramer, but it's all normal people having a normal life. And if you look at every single episode, which is like every single episode is a different like story. If you want, no episode follows the last one. It's all like a different story. It's all like everyday normal stuff that happens to everyone. So that's why I feel like maybe so many people resonated with it, is because everyone was able to see themselves in that scenario or in that character, or they have a friend who's exactly the same, like George or like Kramer or like Jerry or Elaine or whoever. And everything that happens in their lives, everyone can resonate with it because it's normal things, right? It's not like, yo, I just called the president of Paraguay and then the president of Dubai. I'm gonna make these billion-dollar transactions. I'm gonna steal his oil. I'm gonna bomb that country. For most people, they don't have that lifestyle. They don't have that type of life. So those TV shows, we can watch them, we can enjoy them, and we can be like, oh my God, look how like the world, how these big rich people operate, how these powerful people operate. I never knew it. But you cannot resonate with it as much as you can with Seinfeld, The Sopranos, or any other TV show which depicts more of a normal lifestyle that every single human being in general has. And I feel like that's one thing that one reason why people love podcasts so much. Let's say compared to TV interviews. Before TV interviews, they were all perfect, right? Like the guy comes in with a suit. It's all edited. It's a 30-minute episode because it's actually a 1 hour, but they edited out so many things that it turns out to be 30 minutes. Everyone's in a suit. The questions are already pre-prepared. He already sent the questions to his agent, so they already know what's going to happen. It's like acting for both of them. Right? But podcasts, which is actually, let's say Joe Rogan, right? I feel like one of the reasons why Joe Rogan's podcast is the most successful one is because if you look at his episodes, if you look at his podcast, it's very normal. Like he has these big profile people. He brings fucking Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Jordan Peterson, Bradley Cooper, whoever. He brings everyone he wants and they just have a normal conversation about life. And when you watch those episodes, you're like, yo, Elon Musk's, he's actually like me. He's a normal human being. He's a normal human being. But if you were to see, let's say, interviews they did before on TV, let's say in the 1960s, 1970s, since everything was a choreography, since everything was pre-planned, you felt like, oh, something's happening. I cannot associate myself with that because when I sit around with my friends and we talk about whatever, that's not what we look like. But when you watch Joe Rogan or any other podcast who's like unfiltered and which is a raw, real podcast. And that's what podcasts are. It's you bring an interview, you bring a guest or you bring someone and you guys literally have your real conversation about whatever you want, but it's not edited and it's just real life. And that's why I feel like people love podcasts way more than, let's say, TV interviews is because, like, let's say I watch an episode of Joe Rogan. Let's say I want to watch the episode of Joe Rogan with Elon Musk. And I'm like, yo, this is Elon Musk, the richest man on planet Earth, one of the most powerful people on planet Earth. And probably one of the, if not the most innovative person on planet Earth currently now in 2026. And when I watch his discussion, his podcast with Joe Rogan, it's a normal discussion and it's a normal, like he's a normal human being just like me or like my friends. Like when I watch that episode, I feel like it's the same conversation that I have with my friends sitting in my couch in my living room whilst watching TV. Shit, I fucking love this, man. Oh, I love this because you resonate with it. So I feel like that's why the world is becoming more and more hungry for normalcy more than ever before. That's why the future of social media, in my opinion, I think it's normalcy and authenticity. It's all going to be about who's as authentic as possible and who's as normal as possible. I think that they will have the most attention and they will have the most success when it comes to podcasts, live streaming, social media in general. Okay, so this is a beautiful quote from Seneca, who is a Greek philosopher that I really fucking love. And he said, the final test of freedom is this. Can you remain the same person in praise, in insult, in gain, and in loss? That is the ultimate test of freedom. Imagine, can you always remain who you are, no matter who hates on you, no matter who praises you, no matter what you gain out of life, no matter what you lose? So no matter what happens in your life, through gain or through loss, no matter who hates on you or who loves you, or if it may even switch at a given time, no matter what happens in your life, can you always remain the same person? That is the ultimate test of freedom. Because in my opinion, from what I saw, people who care a lot about praise from others, they also care a lot about insults from others. They go together. From what I saw and what I experienced, it goes together. But if you don't give a fuck about when other people praise you, and then that will naturally translate to you don't give a fuck when other people insult you. Because either when they praise you or when they insult you, you remain the same person. You don't care. You know who you are. That's why it's important for you to know who you are and for you to live on your own terms and for you to decide who you are and for you to know who you actually are and not be dependent on other people's image that they have of you, either good or bad. If it's good or bad, you still shouldn't give a fuck. That's my opinion. So that's why this quote, I fucking love it. The final test of freedom is this. Can you remain the same person in praise and insult and gain and in loss? Another quote from Alex Hormozy that I really fucking love. And he said, lack of focus is a form of cowardice. You don't believe in yourself enough to go all in. I spoke about it earlier in the podcast, and it's true. And I speak for myself. Whenever I didn't focus as much, let's say on my podcast or whatever, it's because deep down, I didn't believe in myself enough to go all out and to actually do whatever has to get done. Because deep down, there was this little voice of doubt, which was like, it may never happen. It's not going to happen. Who are you? You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? What do you think you can accomplish? It's a form of cowardice. And I agree. I'm a victim of it. And I try simply every single day to change it and become better. And I feel like that's the point of life, right? To become better every single day than who you were yesterday. But it's 100% true that lack of focus is a form of cowardice. You don't believe in yourself enough to go all in. Life only rewards action, nothing else. From what I know, everything that I gained in my life, it all came through action. Nothing came from me speaking. Well, I mean, my podcast, of course, it's me speaking, but it's the action of me preparing an episode, going and doing it, clipping, bringing a guest on, whatever, or going to the gym, having my job, whatever little success that I had in my life, knock on wood, I'll have way more. But it all came through action. And just like anyone else who had success in some shape or form in their life, it all came through action and not through words or by thinking about it or whatever. It came through action at the end of the day. From what I saw, success is all about just doing it and doing a crazy amount of volume. One thing that I learned from my sales job is, yes, there are some people who are naturally better at selling than other people. There are some people who are naturally better at closing than other people. It's a fact. It is a talent. Some people are just better than other people. But at the end of the day, and this is a fucking fact, the people who always sell the most cars aren't the best negotiators, aren't the best closers, aren't the best salespeople. It's simply the people who wanted the most. They are the ones who always end up with the most cars sold that month. It's always the same. Some months, when I know, deep down, I know that this month I worked way harder and I wanted it way more, I sold more cars in the last month. Why? Not because I changed who I am. Of course, with experience, you become better, like it or not. Experience does also play a role. There is talent. There's also experience and hunger. But out of all those three, the most important is hunger. That's one thing that I learned from sales. Everyone who always sells the most is simply the guy who wants the most. The guy who waits at the fucking door and takes every single walk-in and every single client and does his best to close it. Now, of course, some people, let's say you take two salespeople, right? One is a way better negotiator, a way better salesperson, and a way better closer than person B. Person A is way better at closing than person B. But so, of course, if both of them take 100 clients, person A will have a higher success rate of closure than person B. Of course, he's a better closer. But since sales is all about volume, it's all about volume, right? If salesperson number one, number A, whatever, if he takes 100 clients per month and salesperson B, who is way worse at negotiating, way less talented and way worse at closing, if he takes 200 clients out of hunger and out of desire to get more money and get more sales, if he takes 200 people and person A takes 100 people, this guy will have way more volume in sales. Maybe this guy will still have a better percentage rate of closing, but who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if you sell 2 cars, but you only met 4 people? That's 50% closing rate. That's really good. And this guy took 50 people and he sold 10 cars. He has a 20% closing rate. You have a 50% closing rate. But at the end of the day, his paycheck will be way fatter and way more juicier than yours. Even though you have a 50% closing rate and he has a 20% closing rate, he still sold 10 cars and you only sold 2 cars. So that's why at the end of the day, just like with everything else in life, and like Alex Hormozy spoke a lot about this, it's all about volume. Volume, volume, volume. And then of course there's talent. Some people are more talented than other. There's work ethic. Work ethic comes in volume, but there's talent and whatever else. But it's all about volume from what I saw. This is Jordan Peterson now, a quote from Jordan Peterson. The people who do best across time are the people who have high IQs and who work hard. Of course, you know how they say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't hard work. But if talent hard works, people with high IQs, of course, they're going to have more success than people who work also hard but don't have as much as a high IQ as this other person. It goes with the same logic of me with the analogy of salesperson A and salesperson B. This person has a higher IQ when it comes to sales. But this person works harder. So he's going to have more success because this person works harder than smart people, talented people who don't work as hard. But if someone who is high IQ, like salesperson A, who has high IQ, who's really talented at selling cars, at sales, if he works as hard as someone who isn't as talented, well, then of course, naturally, logically, he will have more success than this person. So of course, the ideal image is to be high IQ, to be really talented at a single thing, at that specific thing, and then to put in a lot of volume and a big work ethic to become the ultimate prize. It's like Messi, right? Messi is exactly like salesperson A. Messi is extremely talented in that sport, but he also has a big fucking work ethic. So that's why, how can you compete with it, right? Then you have Ronaldo, who's not as talented as Messi, but he also has a really good fucking work ethic. But since he's not as talented as Messi, Messi's way better than Cristiano Ronaldo or many other players. So of course, the ideal, like Jordan Peterson said, is to have a high IQ, high talent, and then plus you add in work ethic, consistency, discipline, and everything else. So let me finish off this podcast with a final quote from Robert Greene. Win through actions, never through an argument. You know, sometimes with your friends, you argue about whatever, this, that, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it better than you, whatever. At the end of the day, we can talk all we want. We can boast. We can be flamboyant all we want. We can talk about whatever we want. At the end of the day, the winner always wins through actions. Never through words or through whatever, but always through actions. So guys, that was it for this episode. Peace out.